04 Boys Elite One State Cup recap. I tried to make this video a few times yesterday on Monday, and I don't have words. I don't have words to explain what was going on, what was happening, and the spectacle that was the game on Sunday. It's just, this is the low of the low of our game, and I want to say that I'm incredibly proud of our boys. I don't want to dwell on the actions of other coaches or people or referees or any of that too terribly much, because then you begin to sound like a sore loser of sorts. But I had the number of people that came up to me saying that it was a travesty, saying that it was ridiculous what was happening. It was ridiculous that that young boy was on the game, reffing the game in the first place, to put him into that situation. Ridiculous the way their coach was acting and what he was saying to hurt our players, and encouraging the injuries. Yeah, there's no place for it for me. Perfectly fine with their players, perfectly fine, with their players doing what they're told, because that's their coach, and they're supposed to be listening and doing what they're told. The issue is with that staff and that club, and very disappointed for obviously our players who got injured in that game, and those who were fouled very heavily, that were lucky enough to not get injured. So with all of that being said, we still could have won the game. We still could have won the game. There was time in the game. We were a better soccer team. We're a better soccer team than anybody else in the state. These guys are not. They're not on our level. They're not player for player. They're nowhere close to us. But this is a game, and people come with different tactics, trying to rattle it to even the playing field, and that was the whole mentality. So we dealt with it last year and scored some early goals. We were right there this year. The wind, the field played a little bit of factors into it, but our spring has been about the adversity and dealing with adversity, with the number of injuries and the number of substantial injuries that we had, changing our lineup, playing new positions, new players coming into the team, trying to see who can contribute the most and help out, and rearranging people, formations, positions, all of that, trying to get the best out of us. And the boys never complained. They never let it show or affect them. So I was incredibly happy with that. And we did almost everything we could. Asking 14, 15-year-old boys to be the bigger, stronger person mentally, emotionally, is a very, very big ask. And we almost did it. We almost did it. So for that, I'm proud of them. The target on your back of being a state champion is difficult. We were always going to get the best out of other teams. I think that's what we saw on Friday. We saw a Hobart team really, really play the best that they could to try and beat us, and our quality was just too much. Unfortunately, Sunday wasn't quite the same. So, and the only other thing that I wanted to say was, I didn't like shouting out across the field at about not to ask for cards, and basically with the kid doing the middle, if that's your kid, you don't want a whole sideline of parents screaming at him. As someone who works with kids, I don't want any kids treated like that. So we don't want to be berating a child that's in the middle. If it's an adult in the middle, we still don't want to be asking for the other team to be thrown out. So if you're asking for a yellow card, if you're asking for a red card, You're asking for the opponents to get thrown out of the game so that we have an easier chance of winning. And we certainly aren't scared to play anyone. We aren't. We don't need the other team to be down to 10 men to beat them. As I told our guys at halftime, I'll take 7 of our guys against the whole 15 of them, and I fancy our chances because we're better, because we've worked harder, we've worked more into our game, we've put more into it. We're better in every way. So, and I still would have done that. In second half, we were there. We even scored enough goals to get it done. But conceding 4 was just too much. And I don't blame those guys on the field. I don't blame those guys injured that were off the field. I don't blame any of that. It's one of those events. And honestly, this game's going to sit with me for a while. It's not sitting right. The most difficult part is the people that we can complain to and take this up further with about the whole spectacle. Are the problem. Some of the people at the top are the issue in causing this, in causing an event like this to happen. So, yeah. So I didn't like shouting out at you guys across the field. I apologize, whoever said that, and I shouted out. I didn't mean to call you out or embarrass you in that manner. But we don't need to ask. If their kid is punching us, if there's a fist fight, if there's things like that, obviously those things aren't warranted, and I wouldn't be saying anything to fans. But when their coach, when their players are asking for yellow cards and red cards for high kicks and for players tackling the ball or whatever else, it's embarrassing, and it's not a good part of our game. So I don't want us doing that moving forward in the future. So right now we've got training from now through tryouts. I will try to get a friendly game set up so that we can go and play, so that we could train for something and go enjoy the game for the sake of enjoying it and for the sake of playing it, which is what we all do. These cup games are great, and they're hugely important because there's so many emotions, and it's great to see the boys with so many highs and so many lows. It's something that you can't get in other parts of life. So I'm happy about that part of it. But maybe we just get a game where we can go out and enjoy this little sport that all the boys play because they enjoy it, not because of all the emotions and the mess that was going on. So I'll contact a few clubs and I'll try to get that set up here soon, and I can let you know when those dates will be. But we'll try to get that in before June 10th and 11th, which are our tryouts. So thanks to everybody. I appreciate all the support all year. It's a great group of boys, and it's going to continue to be. So I'm proud to be part of it. I'm very thankful to be lucky enough to coach them, and continuing coaching them moving forward. So thanks again.